Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Leonard and welcome back to another episode of the Love Doesn't Hurt podcast, where we provide domestic violence education, empower survivors, and promote healing from the inside out. This week we are finishing up a series of episodes on the podcast where I am breaking down the Netflix miniseries Maid. In the last 5 episodes of the podcast, I broke down the first 9 episodes of Maid, so be sure to go check those out if you missed them, or if you just need a refresher on what happened. I can't believe this series is already over. I've had so much fun making it, and I hope you've enjoyed listening. Just as a trigger warning, this show does depict an abusive relationship that may be triggering if you've experienced similar abuse. So proceed with caution or feel free to pass on this episode if that is not beneficial to your emotions or your healing. Just as a reminder, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow the show on whatever podcast platform you use. With that being said, let's get into the breakdown. Our final episode of Maid opens with Alex watching her mother from afar as she gets out of the car from sleeping in it, packs her belongings in the trunk, and drives off. Alex follows her mom to the waterside, where she sits and watches the birds, and then continues driving to go to group therapy. At group therapy, Alex leads an exercise where all the survivors write, because that's how Alex gets her feelings out and accepts the truth. No one can take writing away from you, and no one can tell you it's wrong. After group therapy, Alex asks Denise if her mom could stay at the shelter, which she can't unless she accepts that she's a victim of DV and comes on her own. Denise then suggests a government program that provides senior living for homeless senior citizens, but Paula hates everything government-oriented, so that wouldn't work for her. Alex accepts that she doesn't really have any other options to care for her mom, and Denise leaves her to think about what would happen if she didn't try to always take care of her mom. Alex then goes back to the waterside to check on her mom. Paula complains to Alex that her arm really hurts, and Alex is annoyed when she sees that it's because her mom got her new man to cut off her cast from when she severed her tendon, and it was supposed to be on 6 more weeks. Alex suggests moving to Montana with her to her mother, but Paula is resistant to this idea, thinking that she would be a tag-along and that she can't handle leaving the place she's from. Alex accepts this excuse, but demands Paula go to appointments before she leaves, so she doesn't have to worry about her mother while she's gone. Alex then has some more cleaning jobs and makes a lot more money, but after a long day's work, she calls to purchase a textbook, and they're so expensive that only one used textbook takes up most of the money she made that day. Alex's attorney also calls her this day and explains that Sean rejected the notice of relocation, so she filed a restraining order against him. To close off her day, Alex goes to group therapy and again leads a writing prompt, this time about the survivors' happiest memories, similar to the meditation from a previous episode. The group discusses the most memorable phrases from each and share in each other's joy. Alex made her mother a doctor's appointment to get her cast put back on so her tendon could heal, but of course, Paula didn't show up. So Alex goes to hunt her mother down and drag her to a rescheduled appointment, finding her at the art fair once again. When Alex confronts her for missing the appointment, Paula tells Alex that she doesn't want to go to the doctor and to worry about herself. Alex leaves her mother be for now and goes to meet with her attorney to discuss the court situation with Sean they're now faced with. Alex's attorney informs her that Sean's attorney is essentially claiming that Alex is lying about being abused because she has a, quote, lack of evidence, and that Sean wants full custody of Maddie, starting with a mandatory visitation the next day. This is very frustrating for Alex as it seems reminiscent of the first court battle with Sean. This is the last bit of control Sean has over Alex's life, so he's trying to hold on to it in an attempt to continue to abuse her. Alex's court hearing is set for 2 weeks out, but this is impossible for her to make as she's supposed to move to Montana the next week, and if she doesn't, she'll lose her housing and spot in school, which is really bad after she just took out a $9,000 student loan. So Alex goes to confront her mom about being homeless and also ask her mom if she'll supervise the visitation between Sean and Maddie. Paula tries to deny being homeless because she's independent, and Alex just doesn't know how to help her mother anymore. Paula does agree to help with the visitation, though, and Alex conditions this with Paula needing to go back to the doctor. At the visitation, Sean is very angry about the restraining order and yells at Alex for sending the cops to serve him, sarcastically calling it classy. Paula had gotten a new cast put on, so Alex leaves her with Sean and Maddie for the visitation and goes to talk with her father. Alex explains that she's in a domestic violence shelter for the second time that year because of Sean, but her father wishes that she just would have come to stay with him because it worries him and Sean, and he wants to help. Alex wants her father to provide witness testimony to prove Sean emotionally abused her, but Alex's dad claims he never saw that happen. He saw a young couple going through a rough patch, and justifies this because Sean is going through a rough patch. He's struggling with his sobriety and needs empathy, so Alex is leaving him at the exact wrong time. We know Alex's dad was abusive to her mom, so him justifying Sean's actions seems like he's just trying to justify his own and avoid the fact that he was once, and if not still is, an abuser. Alex's dad continues to justify Sean's actions by deflecting responsibility onto his alcoholism. It's the booze that turns him into a monster. But Alex immediately turns this back on her father, asking, "Was it the booze that hit Mom?" But of course her father conveniently doesn't remember doing that. Alex, feeling empowered enough to stand up for herself and her mother in this moment, is beautiful to see. She has taken back the narrative and will not let anyone else write her story. Alex points out that her father was never there for her growing up and only wants this one thing so she can protect Maddie. But her father just can't. So Alex leaves and has no desire to talk to her father ever again. Alex then goes to group therapy where survivors are sharing more stories of happy memories based on the writing prompt. Paula then walks in with Maddie because she had gotten upset while with Sean, and Paula says the visitation really didn't go well and that Sean wants to talk to Alex. Sean explains to Alex that he yelled at Maddie and that all he can do is think about drinking, even while he's with his daughter. Sean is scared that he would go get drunk with Maddie in tow, and he doesn't want to do that, so he is going to sign over full custody of Maddie. This is a big win for Alex because she can finally be free of Sean as he's let go of the control. During this conversation, Paula jumped into group therapy and is celebrating other survivors' memories without wanting to share her own. Paula and Alex leave and go celebrate Maddie's full custody by sitting by the waterside and talking. Alex asks her mom what her happiest day is, since she didn't want to share in group therapy. And Paula shares with her daughter that it was their first morning in Alaska after leaving Alex's dad. Paula says that Alex's dad used to look as bad as Sean did earlier that day because of his drinking, which really allowed Alex and the audience to understand that the cycle of domestic violence is real, and it can be really hard to break when that's all you know. Paula then asks if she can come with Alex and Maddie to Montana for a new life experience. Alex packs her and Maddie's belongings from the shelter and longingly looks at the painting they have in each apartment. A woman running on the beach, free of cares and worries. She knows that this is the life she'll finally have once she arrives in Montana. Alex then goes to pack up Maddie's belongings at Sean's, and they talk about him getting cleaned up and then maybe coming to Montana to visit Maddie. Alex is strong enough now to stand her ground and not let Sean back into her and her daughter's life until he can be a good influence. Alex and Maddie then leave the shelter for the last time. What a bittersweet day, leaving the place that helped them so much to make a better life for themselves. On the way to Montana, Alex first stops at Regina's to say goodbye and return the cashmere sweater that she took on Thanksgiving. They thank each other for being a good friend, and Regina even lets Alex keep the sweater. Alex then goes to pick up her mother from her new man's house, but she didn't sell her car like she intended before leaving for Montana, which Alex thinks is odd. Paula then explains to her daughter that her new man finally left his wife once she was going to move to Montana, so she is going to stay with him and just wants Alex to be happy for her. Alex drives away, leaving her mom behind, because she knows that she can't break the cycle of domestic violence for her mother. Paula has to choose to leave for herself. In the closing scenes of Maid, there's a flashback to group therapy where everyone is giving snaps to each other for sharing their happiest day. Alex shares hers as she's seen driving to Montana. Alex's happiest day is driving with Maddie to their new home in Missoula, where she will spend the next 4 years learning to become a writer. And when they get there, Alex and Maddie will hike to the M. The trail there may be long and hard, but once they get to the top, Alex will tell her daughter that the M is for Maddie and that this whole new world is just for her, symbolizing Alex's journey out of domestic violence and to creating a great life for her daughter despite the difficult journey. So that is a summary and breakdown of the last episode of Maid on Netflix. I hope you guys enjoyed this series and were able to get a more realistic picture of what experiencing domestic violence is like if you didn't really understand before. I will be back with more educational content next week, so be sure to tune in as we get back to our regular content. As always, it is my goal with the Love Doesn't Hurt podcast to create another resource people can use to understand their experiences, get help, and know they're not alone. If you need immediate help, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or text START in all capital letters to 88788. You can also visit their website, thehotline.org, for more information. If you enjoyed this episode or learned something new, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. If you would like to support the podcast, I would really appreciate you giving it a 5-star rating wherever you listen. Also, just a reminder that the podcast is now available on YouTube, Amazon Music, and Audible, so you can access it anywhere you prefer to listen to podcasts. Thank you for listening to the Love Doesn't Hurt podcast. I hope you all have a great day, and remember, spread love everywhere you go.